Hey, look who it is. It's Neo. What's up, Neo? Long time no see. How you doing, buddy? I'll be with you guys in just a second here. I'm finishing up a piece of pizza, and I don't want to chew on the microphone because that's, well, frankly, it's disgusting, and I don't want to do it. But I'm almost done. Oh, but while I'm doing this, while I'm finishing this piece of pizza, it'd be really great if you could hit the thumbs up and stuff. Because you know what? YouTube really cares, even if I don't. What's up, Michael? What's up, Seth? I really hope that Sea-Dog is able to join us tonight because I want to hear all about his... I want to hear all about his concert experience. Oh, and also... Georgia Tech had a baseball game. The ACC baseball tournament started today. I know a lot of people don't care about baseball, but this is the ACC show. So the tournament started today, and I believe... Well, here, let's look. I believe... Yeah, I was right. Georgia Tech and Florida State played today at 3 o'clock. Who won? We got a couple of Knowles in here in the chat. Who won that game? I can look it up, but you could also just type it in the chat. Florida State did. Oh, no. Poor Sea-Dog. Who won the Miami and Louisville game? Listen, I got to be honest with you. About 30 minutes ago, I was like, oh, I know the ACC baseball tournament's about to start, so I Googled it, and it started today. So I didn't even know until about 30 minutes ago that it started today, because that's how much of a dumbass I am. But anyway, it does start today, or did start today. Miami and Louisville played at 11, and then Georgia Tech and Florida State played at 3. Florida State won that. And as we speak, Virginia Tech and Duke are about to kick off or pitch off or whatever they call it in baseball. Hey, appreciate you, Stingray, for supporting the show, buddy. He says, let's go. Let's go. And another thing that pissed me off as soon as I pulled up the ACC tournament schedule is, of course, Notre Dame. Look, I don't hate Notre Dame as much as everybody else does. I mean, it seems like everybody and their mother hates Notre Dame for one reason or another. I'm not one of those people. But I do hate the fact that they get to bend the ACC over and run it in dry and raw on them. So just seeing their name in the tournament schedule makes me mad.
I don't feel well. I don't feel well. Casket!
Jesus!
Life shouldn't be that stressful if this is my show 2 weeks in. By week 10, I'm going to be doing the show from a casket. Casket! Look down in the bayou.
We are in total agreement there, Seth. You know, me and Florida State fans don't agree on everything, obviously, but we do agree on that. They have a word for that. You know what that word is called? The Notre Dame situation in the ACC. There's a word for it, and the word is, it's just silly. It's silliness. So Miami did win. All right, so Miami, and I'm going to start here in a minute. Just give me a second. But when I do start, we're gonna go through, for those of you who don't know exactly how the ACC baseball tournament is structured. It's somewhat confusing unless you're a hardcore baseball fan, which I'm not. Of course, unless I'm betting on it, then I'm basically an expert at that point. I want to be expert. But basically what they do here is they do pools. Let me see if I can find it. No, I don't want to join your newsletter. Has anyone ever joined a newsletter before? I don't even know why they ask. I'm guessing no. Well, this is a pretty good representation of it here. Hold on. What's up, Eric? He says it needs to go back to double elimination. What is it now? Oh, yeah. Okay, well, I'm about to show you what it is now. Essentially what happens here, let me turn this music off. It's starting to actually piss me off. Shut up. No Sea Dog yet. So we'll talk about some. I know he doesn't care about baseball. Apparently he doesn't care about the ACC show either. So we'll just get started without him. If there's an ACC panel member that wants to come on and help me through the next hour. Oh, that's the other thing too. I'm only going until about 8 o'clock tonight, and I'll just go ahead and tell you the reason why. And the reason why is because I'm a degenerate gambler, and I want to watch the NBA game. It starts at 8, so that's the reason. But here, look, here's how it goes. So what they do is they divide these teams into pools, pool A, B, C, and D. These teams play each other in the first round. Once there's an elimination in each pool, then they face, pool A versus pool D, or pool A versus pool B, or whatever. The pools start playing each other then, and they eliminate that way. That's like the most ridiculous, basic way to explain it. Eric says they need to go back to double elimination. So now, again, forgive my ignorance, Eric, but when did they change that? Is the pool system something that just happened this year, or is it something that's been going on for several years now? Or, I don't know. That's why I'm asking. But while I'm waiting on an answer for that, North Carolina, Wake Forest, and Pitt are in Pool A. Clemson, Louisville, and Miami in Pool B. NC State, Duke, Virginia Tech, Pool C. Virginia, Florida State, and Georgia Tech in Pool D. And of course, you can see these fancy dancy numbers next to their names. That is their seed, obviously. North Carolina, number 1 seed, which is they won the regular season in the ACC. Clemson came in second. Now they're in different divisions. They still do have divisions in the ACC in baseball, Atlantic and Coastal, unlike in football. North Carolina being the Coastal division winner, Clemson being the Atlantic division winner. So that's what those numbers mean. And that's how they decide who goes in what pool, I'm assuming. And here is a fancy-dancy bracket, very college basketball bracket-esque, of how these games will go. Clemson plays Miami on Thursday morning at 11 a.m., I believe. And then they play again on Friday. They have a doubleheader. Well, not a doubleheader. It's not the same day. But, yeah, they play back-to-back games, Thursday and Friday. Let's see who's in the chat here real quick. Cheers to the chat. Cheers to all of you. And also, happy Tuesday. I'll bring True Seminole in here. What's up? What's up, True Seminole? How you doing?
Going on, Pete? How you doing?
Hey, I'm amazing and fantastic. Thank you for being here, and thank you for coming on. But I'm giving the shout outs to the chat here real quick. We got Matt Dummett, Stingray, Neo, Michael Tree, Seminole, Seth, Young Seminole, the Nature Boy, Stingray with the super chat. Eric, how would you pronounce this name? And I know I've asked this before, but it's hard for somebody to tell me how to pronounce something in the comments section. It's Shytles. To me, it sounds like shittles. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I think your guess is going to be close to mine.
All right, but I don't want to be rude and mispronounce his name. You know what I mean? But it does sound like shittles. What's up, Jay Shipes and anointed commenter? Well, you should call yourself self-anointed commenter. What's up, Sea-Dog? How you doing, buddy?
What's up?
I'm glad you're here. We're talking about your favorite subject.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basketball?
No, baseball. Basketball. Oh. Sir, do you have a calendar, Sea-Dog? Do you know what month it is? Basketball ended like fucking 3 months ago.
I don't know, dude.
2 months ago, anyway.
No, I know about it.
Well, so today, and look, I'm about as dumb as you are when it comes to college baseball, but the ACC tournament started today, and Georgia Tech actually played today.
All right, did we win?
No, you lost to Miami.
Damn it!
You didn't even know. You said, "All right, did we win?"
That's why I prefer football, because we beat Miami there.
Oh, damn! Oh, that's a casket comment right there.
Casket!
Yeah. So I was just explaining to the people, or trying to. Yeah, actually, what I was doing was trying to explain to myself how the tournament works, because the people in the chat obviously know more than I do about how the bracket works. But yeah. So Miami did beat Georgia Tech today, and who was the other one that I said? Hold on. It is shit. Who is the other one? Oh yeah, no, you lost to Florida State. See, I don't know what I'm talking about. You lost to Florida State, not Miami.
I see.
You lost to Florida State, and Miami beat Louisville. So that's it. So Miami won and Florida State won. The two Florida teams won today, or two of the Florida teams won today. Anyway. I'm glad you came on, because I do want to hear, before we get into this stuff that you don't want to hear about. Last week we didn't do a show, or I decided not to do the show once I realized that you weren't going to be on because you went to a Greta Van Fleet concert.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I totally forgot to I totally just didn't even realize it was a Tuesday, and I have a notification that goes off 15 minutes before the show every Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it didn't even register until that alarm went off. I was like, oh shit, it's Tuesday.
Yeah. Well,
sorry about that.
It's okay. So where was the concert?
It was in Duluth, Georgia.
Where is Duluth, Georgia?
Duluth is east of Atlanta.
How far east?
Not far east. It's actually, it might even be inside the perimeter.
Okay. So you drove, did you stay overnight there?
No, we drove back.
Oh. How long is the drive, is it? Did you say that already?
For me, it was I think it was a little over an hour.
Oh, that's not bad.
Well, yeah, not at night, because the traffic wasn't bad.
That's like that's sort of similar to like us, Charleston to Columbia. It takes about an hour and 15 minutes to get from my house to downtown Columbia.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's not too bad. So how was it?
Oh, it was awesome, dude. For the first time ever. So this is my fourth time seeing them. I'm a big fan. Needless to say.
So they're coming to Charleston.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, soon too, I think. And actually, me and the missus were thinking about going. I never even knew who they were until you turned me on to them. And I'm not I'm not like a super fan like you are, but I do like them.
They put on a hell of a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do, man.
They're coming. They're coming here sometime in June. I can't remember the exact date. But the problem is that in a couple of weeks from now, we're going to see this big comedy tour show.
Yeah.
And we got some people coming down. Nature Boy's coming down. Macklin Griffin and Mrs. Mack are coming down. And so it's going to be. We're going to have a fun weekend, or fun end of the week. I think the show is actually on a Thursday, so they're coming down for a couple of days. Yeah. But I don't think I can afford to go to both.
Yeah.
So I guess we're not going to go.
It can be pricey.
Yeah. I'm going to be out of town next week. We're going up to Virginia to my father-in-law's place, like we do every summer, for like 5 days, 6 days. And then when we get the same week we get back is when the comedy show is. So I just don't have I just can't afford it, basically. Otherwise I would go.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I highly recommend if you're ever able to, because it's a hell of a time. And we have never had anything but like nosebleed or lawn tickets before going to any concert. We always get like the cheapest tickets, This time I splurged and got us pit tickets, and oh my god, dude!
So how big was the pit?
It wasn't huge. So this is the first time I've been to one of their shows and it wasn't like packed out. I think that was because it was a Tuesday night, and so it wasn't too terrible. It was a big pit, but it wasn't. And it wasn't like a mosh pit, it's full of like teenage girls.
Oh, God, that sounds terrible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't exclusively teenage girls. It was just,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, it wasn't people thrashing around and fighting or whatever you have in a mosh pit.
No, I know what you mean. Well, the reason I know is because when I went to the Georgia and Clemson game a couple of years ago in Charlotte,
yeah.
Our seats, somehow I bought seats right in the middle of a Georgia sorority section.
Oh no.
And I got to tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, I was ready. I'm not P. Diddy and I don't condone hitting women, but I thought about it.
Those women.
Boy, they were annoying. So was it just you and the missus, or do you have a group of people go?
My brother went.
Oh, you're okay. Yeah. B-Dog.
Yeah, B-Dog, yep, he went. And he has a video of the lead singer like waving at him. He waved at him and then he touched my wife's hand.
Oh my God. Did she wash it yet?
No, yeah, no. He was like, yeah, so they both had an encounter with him down there in the pit. It was great. He came in the pit, dude, and he was like kissing the girls and stuff.
Whoa, that sounds weird.
Yeah.
That sounds a little weird. I'm not going to lie.
It was crazy. He kissed a dude right in front of me, dude.
What?
Yeah, dude.
He kissed a dude?
He's gay.
Oh, well, I guess that makes sense, though.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Wow. You didn't get to kiss him?
I didn't get a kiss, no.
Would you have kissed him? He had to think about it.
I think I probably would have gone for a fist bump. I think I'd be all right with a fist bump.
When it goes to the fist bump, he's leaning in close to your face. You're like, what the fuck?
I would have. There's not really an amount of money I wouldn't pay to see a Sea Dog make out with the lead singer of Greta Van Fleet.
I mean, who knows, man? It's my favorite band. He gets coming up to me. I might get excited. Who knows what happens?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I can't say for sure until it happens.
I don't think there's any amount of alcohol on the planet that would make me kiss kiss him or anybody else for that matter.
Yeah. I'd probably opt for the fist bump.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Next time I'll try to get a fist bump.
Get a peck on the cheek.
Yeah, but it was. Oh my God, it was amazing.
I think I even looked up ticket prices in Charleston. It was pretty expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive.
I think even the nosebleed tickets were close to $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you go to check out and it adds another third of the price onto it.
Right.
It's ridiculous. So it's pretty tough. But it was a great time. As always, they've never disappointed, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well, good. I'm glad you had a good time.
Yep.
I announced to the people that I'm shutting it down at 8 o'clock tonight because I want to watch the NBA basketball game. I know you don't have any interest in it, and up until this year,
I thought you said basketball ended.
NBA game.
Am I supposed to know what that means?
You don't know what the NBA is?
I'm messing with you.
Oh. Yeah, college basketball ended, in March Madness.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I'm starting to get the picture.
Now listen, I loved the NBA whenever I was a kid, and even into my even into my early 20s. I loved watching the NBA. I eventually just stopped watching it because life happened, and just didn't have time for it. But this year I started gambling on the NBA when the playoffs started, and I originally started watching the NBA playoffs just because I was betting on it, and then after a few weeks, after watching all those games, I got into it. So now I'm actually I'm pulling for a team, the Minnesota Timberwolves. But it is exciting. So anyway, the game tonight, the Pacers and the Celtics start at 8 o'clock tonight. It's game one of the conference finals. So the last four teams are the Pacers, the Celtics, the Timberwolves, and who's the Timberwolves playing? No, I forgot. Anyway, there's four teams left. The conference finals start today. So, but here we go. Here's the bracket for the ACC baseball tournament. So we got Miami, Louisville today. Georgia Tech, Florida State today. Then we have Virginia and Georgia Tech. I guess that's tomorrow. And yeah, tomorrow Virginia and Georgia Tech play, and then Pittsburgh and Wake Forest play tomorrow. Then on Thursday we have Clemson and Miami, and North Carolina and Pitt. Then on Friday it's Florida State, Virginia, and Louisville and Clemson. So they take the best records out of that bracket and then move on to the next round, starting next week, I guess. What's up?
Does that mean Georgia Tech's eliminated, or do they still?
They're not eliminated yet.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so. I mean,
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I don't know how this works.
Yeah, it is a bit confusing. So there's four pools. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a more in-depth explanation of this real quick, because I actually saw one earlier that made more sense. What they do is they divide the conference into four pools. The pools play each other, and then the pool winners at the end of the first round start playing the other pool winners, and they dwindle it down from there. Give me a second. I should have just kept up the one I had pulled up originally. Somehow I lost it. All right, here it is. For those of you watching on YouTube, which is 99% of you, you can see it here on the screen. There's 12 teams are split amongst four pools. The three teams in each pool will compete in a round robin to determine the winner of each pool, which will advance into the semifinals. Pool A is North Carolina, Wake Forest, and Pitt. Pool B, Clemson, Louisville, and Miami. Pool C, NC State, Duke, and Virginia Tech. Pool D, Virginia, Florida State, and Georgia Tech. Well, that's it. That's the explanation. Now, do you get it now?
Starting to kind of
Yeah.
get the idea.
But here is how the regular season ended. Now, again, like I mentioned earlier, there are still divisions in baseball, unlike football. So there's still an Atlantic and Coastal division in baseball, and then of course Notre Dame, right. I believe. But so you got North Carolina won the ACC regular season. They came in first place. Clemson in second place. with a very impressive 40-13 overall record and 20-10 in the ACC, which is their best season in a while. I do know that Clemson was on a tear early in the season. They got as high as ranked as number 2 in the country for a while. And during the last quarter of the season or so, the wheels kind of fell off. They had a pretty big losing streak, but somehow still ended up finishing second overall in the ACC. NC State third, Virginia fourth, Florida State fifth, Duke sixth, Louisville seventh, Wake Forest eighth, Georgia Tech ninth, Virginia Tech 10th, Miami 11th, and Pittsburgh 12th. So, there you go. What's up, Mr. Duggar? How you doing? Hey, everybody loves Mr. Duggar, and Mr. Duggar loves everybody. Sid Irish says, yikes, Miami. Yeah, Miami won today, though. So, good for them. Do you have any thoughts on this, C-Dog?
I got so many of them, I can't even put into words.
Yeah. All right, we can move on to football then, because I do have something I want to talk about here.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, just it's the off season. We're in what I call the dog days of summer with the football. There's nothing going. The transfer portal is closed. As far as people being able to transfer out. Yeah, there's no summer practice. Everybody's sort of on vacation right now. So there's not pretty much any news that comes out of anywhere is not good news. So,
yeah. Speaking of dog days, did you hear about the quarterback suing Billy Napier?
So yeah,
Great.
yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. I saw that. But I didn't look into it. Do you know anything about it?
A little bit. So, well, I listened to like half of the Uncle Lou video, then I had to go back to work. But
okay, so what happened?
He was the recruit that had the deal fall apart. With he was committed to Miami. They were going to pay him like $9 million to go play there, and then he was so he committed there, and then Florida came in with a $13 million offer. So he agreed to go play there. So
hold on, let's back up. Let's stop yourself there. So for just to clarify, when you say they offered him, you're talking about NIL promises.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. And back when it was like not legal to do that.
Right. Okay.
Or I guess not legal for the coach to do that, because that's what Billy Napier was doing when he wasn't supposed to. I don't know if Miami broke any rules in that. But yeah, so basically he was committed to Miami, and then Florida swooped in with a bigger deal, and then of course the deal fell apart. Y'all remember that whole fiasco? Yeah,
I kind of do remember that. Yeah. So he ends up signing with Georgia, and so what exactly is he suing Florida and Billy Napier in particular for? Does anybody? Do you know? True Seminole?
Nah, I just like watching the fire from the distance.
Yeah. You know what I'll do? I'll pull it up, because it seems like nobody really knows what's going on with it, including me.
It's really just there's no basis for it, because it's a verbal clause. It's not. There's nothing that was signed on paper. So he's trying to sue a verbal agreement, which is not usually successful.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out if this guy actually has a case or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I got most of my news from the Gator fans themselves. So who knows? Maybe that might just be them like defending it.
Well, I'm sure. Of course, they're going to. But I do find it funny though that everyone is sort of like piling on Dabo Swinney for saying we refuse to bid NIL deals for transfers. And then this happens, and that's why he doesn't. Well, that's one reason why he doesn't do it.
It makes him look right.
Well, he is right.
I agree, absolutely.
I mean, look, you can have the opinion like I have that Clemson should be more aggressive in the transfer portal, but I don't blame Dabo at all for not getting into a bidding war for transfer play. That's just insane.
Yeah, of course.
But teams do it though.
Yeah, I think it was either your show or one other made a great point of nobody should be able to get NIL money until like after their freshman season. Like they should not be able to sign an NIL deal until after their freshman season.
I kind of feel like there should just be like a cap, like everyone gets 50,000 at most or something like that. You know?
Well, there is discussions of something like that eventually happening, and that's probably what they're eventually going to have to do. I mean, right now what we're in is just sort of the Wild West because everything is so new that there aren't really any rules. Well, there are rules, but you know what I mean. But there's not any sort of defined expectations or rules as far as how to go about this. And I have a feeling what's happening in this situation is happening all over the country. But former Florida recruit and current Georgia quarterback Jaden Rashada is suing the Gators and coach Billy Napier and the program's top booster. And they did name the guy, not in this, but they did name the name of the booster, over a failed name, image, and likeness deal worth nearly $14 million. Let's see if there's any more clarification here on exactly what's happening. Okay, the lawsuit filed Tuesday in the United States District Courts of Pensacola accuses Napier and booster and automotive technology businessman Hugh Hathcock. That's a funny name. Hugh Hathcock of fraudulent misrepresentation and inducement, aiding and abetting fraud, civil conspiracy to commit fraud, negligent misrepresentations, fortuitous inference with a business relationship or contract, aiding and abetting fortuitous inference, and vicarious liability. That's a bunch of legal jargon, if I ever heard it. The complaint seeks a jury trial and damages in at least $10 million. Wow. This is a quote. Well, I'll just read this quote. I don't know who it's from. Sadly, this type of fraud is becoming more commonplace in the Wild West, which is the term I just used, is in today's college football NIL landscape, said the attorney Rusty Hardin. Where have I heard that name before? He's a famous lawyer who was in a big high-profile case here recently. Rusty Hardin. Where have I heard that name before? Does somebody in the chat know? His name's been in the news recently. Wealthy alumni consumed by their school's athletic programs are taking advantage of young people by offering them life-changing sums of money only to renege on their commitments. Is that illegal, though?
I just don't. I don't see how this.
I don't see how saying we'll get you this deal and then and then taking it back, how that's illegal.
Yeah.
Unless it's they sign a contract, which they can't do according to the NCAA rules. I don't know. Pete McGaha says Deshaun Watson. What is it? Oh yeah. Thank you. That's Rusty. Rusty Hardin was Deshaun Watson's lawyer in the rub and tug case.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I knew I recognized that name somewhere. Yeah, I knew I recognized that name somewhere. He's a high-profile, very expensive lawyer. So, as the first scholar athlete to take a stand against the agree.
Can I ask something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Did he get Deshaun Watson off?
Well, they settled out of court. So Deshaun Watson ended up paying off a couple of women, and then.
Okay.
And then I think there was a bunch of women that just dropped out of the whole thing because Rusty Hardin apparently is a very good lawyer to get them out of this. They basically had to testify and tell their story, and some of them wanted to remain completely anonymous, and the court ruled in Watson's favor on that. So they just said, I don't want the headache, so they just backed out of it. But I do know he paid at least one woman an undisclosed amount of money to sort of just go away. Yeah.
Sounds like he got off.
Yeah, he did get off. He got off. He signed with the Browns for an insane contract, and he's playing. So I would say he got off. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So here's another quote. As the first scholar athlete to take a stand against the egregious behavior, Jaden seeks to hold the defendants accountable for their actions and expose their as yet unchecked abuse of power. That's a more legal jargon. That sounds like a lawyer saying that. The lawsuit does not allege breach of contract, a notable omission that likely means the NIL deal could have been terminated by either party at any point without penalty. Yeah, I don't know anything. Again, I'm not a lawyer, and I still find it hard to believe that Napier, the booster, or the University of Florida is going to be held liable for this. I could be totally wrong. But with the way things are, with the lack of rules in NIL right now, I just find it hard to believe that they're going to be held liable for that. But who knows? You know.
Yeah.
Florida has been under NCAA investigation since last June regarding Rashada's recruitment. The NCAA asked the school not to conduct its own investigation and said it would notify the institution soon regarding the projected timeline of the investigation. Yeah, it's just a bunch of it's just a bunch of speculation as far as I can tell. And who knows how long this will even drag on, or if, you know, Florida just doesn't want the headache and they'll just go ahead and say, you know, here's what I'm guessing. And again, this is a total guess. I'm guessing they're going to put pressure and heat on Rashada and his lawyer, Harden, are going to put pressure and heat on Napier and Florida. And they're going to say, you know what, it might just be worth giving this Jamoke let's offer him $5 million to go away. And he might just be looking for a settlement. And that's probably how it'll end, if I had to guess.
As most do.
The 37-page complaint says Rashada tolerated several delays in getting paid before ultimately getting left with a no faith in the University of Florida football team's leadership and the individuals who had constantly lied to him. So, there you go. What a circus. What a circus.
To be fair, that whole program's a circus right now, so.
That is true. That is not the kind of exposure you want if you're Florida right now. And
yeah,
you know what?
Everybody kind of already knew that this would happen. It was a big story whenever, you know, the deal fell through.
And you know what it is? It's one thing if, let's say, Billy Napier has been, you know, a top 5 coach in the country for the past 3 years or however long he's been there, but he hasn't. Right? He's pretty much on the hot seat at this point, if you ask me. So this just adds to one of the reasons why I believe that Billy Napier will not be the head coach of the University of Florida in 2025.
Oh, absolutely. He's not going to be. This is the last year.
Yeah. You know, winning cures a lot. Like your university will go out of their way to fight for you if you're winning them championships. But if you're, you know, floundering towards the bottom of the SEC like he's been doing, then they ain't got no interest in it.
Yeah, and then we get to hear all about how Deion's coming to Florida.
Oh my God! Who would want him?
Florida does, apparently.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What's happening in Colorado wants Deion.
Well, it's funny you said who would want him. I see a shout out to Carolina Jackpot in the chat. He says Sunbelt Billy is now not only confirmed cheater, he's confirmed cheater who lost to Vanderbilt. God damn, that's casket.
Casket!
But I made a joke last night on the Lunch Money show. I believe that Shane Beamer at South Carolina is also going to be on the hot seat towards the end of this season because I just don't think they're going to win very many games. And I think the fan base is growing tired of him. I'm already starting to see that all over social media. And another non-bowl team, if that's what happens with South Carolina this year, I think he's out the door. And look, this isn't me saying it. It's just a fact. South Carolina has a history of going out and plucking failed coaches from the University of Florida. So when you asked who would take them, maybe South Carolina would take them.
They skipped McElwain. They didn't get McElwain first.
Right. You're right about that. Yeah.
What the I don't know. Shane Beamer has overperformed every year he's been there except for last year, this past year.
I would disagree with that.
You don't think so?
No.
Overperformed for their expectations?
Well, I mean, it depends on whose expectation you're talking about. If I'm a South Carolina fan, my expectation is to be relevant in the SEC.
Do you remember how down bad they were whenever they took over?
Yeah, but it's hard to convince the South Carolina fan how pitiful that program is. So
well, no, I think most of them are pretty realistic about it. I mean, you have the vocal minority who are thinking that they're going to win the East every year or win even to compete for the SEC. But I think most of them just want to be competitive.
So this past year was only his third year, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the first year he took over a 2-5 team the year before, or it was bad. It was like 2 or 3 wins.
No, I think it was a 4-win team.
Yeah. So he took them to a bowl, won it, and then I
think he went 7-5 that following year.
And then
right?
the next year they had a great year. I mean,
They had a I'm trying to remember. They had a 9-win season, a 7-win season, and a 4-win season, I believe. Is that right, Jackpot? He exceeded Vegas in wins total 2 out of 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think he's a bad coach. I just don't know if he can win in the SEC at Carolina.
Okay, so my question, I'm of the opinion that they won't make a bowl game this year. So Carolina Jackpot, you're telling me 2 years in a row not making a bowl, is that acceptable?
That's not acceptable. Yeah, hot seat. I think if you miss a bowl again this year is probably reasonable. I'm
not even a South Carolina fan, and I say that's unacceptable even for them. I mean, that's just they're scratching the bottom of the barrel of their conference. Jackpot says that Dave Clawson or Dave Doran will come to Columbia after he's fired.
Dave Clawson would be an amazing hire.
Well, that's news to me that Dave Doran's getting fired. I don't believe that's happening. Especially if they had the season that a lot of people are predicting them to have this season.
Well, we're all high on Clawson. I'm still surprised he hasn't get hired away. I wanted him. He was like my number 1 pick. Whenever we fired Collins.
Sharice Armstead said that's probably what Dabo Swinney says when Clemson has a bad year and says, "Oh well, at least we had high graduation rates." But here's the thing: Dabo Swinney has 2 national championships. Countless ACC championships, 12 10-win seasons in a row. I mean, comparing him to Shane Beamer is just silly. There isn't a comparison there. I mean, listen, South Carolina would give their left nut to have a 10-win season. He's got 12 of them. However, I don't think Dave Doran will be the head coach at South Carolina. Dave Clawson's interesting. And also, I think if they were to get either one of those guys, that would be a massive upgrade over Shane Beamer. I don't see the Doran correlation there. The only way Dave Doran would go to South Carolina is if they offered him, if they backed the Brinks truck up and offered him a shit ton of money. He might consider it then. But he's had a ton of mediocre seasons at NC State, and they haven't fired him yet. So I don't see why they would now.
I would love to see the Pigskin Pete video if South Carolina were to hire Dave Doran.
Look. The earth might crack in half. The earth might crack in half. Now, listen, from a YouTube standpoint and from a fan standpoint, I hope that South Carolina does hire Dave Doran.
That would be
great.
Beautiful.
That would be a beautiful thing. Because I hate Dave Doran and I hate South Carolina, and that'd be like a match made in heaven for me. But on the other hand, I also would think that he would actually be a good hire for them. So, I mean, in that regard, it might not be good for me because I think he would win more games than what Shane Beamer's doing.
Oh yeah, imagine losing to that team.
Oh god.
Oh, it's bad enough losing to NC State with Dave Doran. I can't imagine losing to South Carolina with him. Yeah, that'd be terrible. But South Carolina does have the money to pay him. I think South Carolina has deeper pockets than NC State does. I mean, well, they're just a bigger university, I think. So, Dave Doorknob. Yeah, they can't beat Kentucky to save their life. Oh. It is interesting though. This Rashada fellow from Georgia, is he a freshman?
He was a freshman this past year.
He was a freshman this past year.
He's a sophomore.
So is he like third on the depth chart or something? Well, no, Vandergrift transferred out, right? So I don't know what the depth chart is. I mean, I know Beck is the starter. I don't know what it is after that.
Probably
Where did
Jackson
Brock go again?
Muschamp, if I had to guess.
Vandergrift went to Kentucky, I think. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which is interesting because they play South Carolina. Deion Sanders to South Carolina. Yeah, we joked about that, and it was obviously just a joke on the Lunch Money show last night. I mean, that would be great too. That might even be better than Dave Doran if Deion went to South Carolina. I don't see that happening though. I mean, that's not happening. Although it would be great.
Florida, just so I could watch everyone just be so disappointed.
I hope old Deion sticks around because he's pretty dang entertaining.
Well, I'm of the opinion that if they don't make a bowl game this year, he'll be gone. And but they won't. Listen, Colorado won't fire Deion because he makes the university too much money. I don't think that they even care how many games he wins, as long as he's selling tickets and as long as the money's coming in. I think that's all they care about. But I think that Deion, I think he sees the writing on the wall. I don't care what he says. I know he says all the stuff that head coaches say, but I think he knows that what he's doing is not sustainable. And also, both of his kids are going to graduate and move on to the NFL after this season, and Travis Hunter as well, the best player. So if they don't make a bowl game this year, I think Deion's out the door. I don't know now whether he would go to another college program or to the NFL or wherever, or maybe just nowhere, just leave. I don't see him staying there. I could be wrong. What do you think?
I don't know. Would he just quit? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, Deion doesn't need them. He doesn't need the money.
His kids.
I mean, Deion's not. I don't think Deion is doing this for the money. I mean, of course, he's going to cash whatever they're paying, his check they're paying him, but he's not doing it for the money. He's doing it. I think he's doing it for the notoriety.
I think he's doing it all. It's all a ploy to get his kids drafted.
Well, that's the other conspiracy theory that's out there, is that the Raiders are going to hire Deion, and Deion's going to get his son drafted as quarterback. So he's going to continue to coach his son, not only in college, but then again in the NFL. I don't know why any NFL team would hire him as a head coach. The guy can't even coach college ball.
I've seen some pretty dumb hires. Trust me, I'm a Jaguar fan.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Clicks and likes University. Yeah, that's about it. Jackpot says probably a position coach in the NFL. Yeah, I don't think Deion would take a positions coach role. He's not a positions coach type of personality. He wants to be the head of whatever he's doing, period. His ego is too big.
Could you imagine the headlines of him as a position coach?
Yeah, he's not going to do that. There's no way. He wants to have total control of wherever he's at, even if he hasn't earned it.
Shoot, a lot of people are saying general manager position.
General manager?
Yes, it's
What?
ridiculous. I know, but a lot of the Deion fans are saying that he might get a general managing job.
Ah, damn! No, that's silly. What does he know about general managing anything?
Apparently,
Other than his own career. I mean, the guy's had a highly successful career, I'll give him that, but he doesn't know anything about general managing a team. Oh. Coach Prime has to coach his son because Shador has never been coached by anybody else. Did y'all see that? So when the transfer portal opened again for the second time, there was several players, or a bunch of players that transferred out of Colorado, and Shedeur Sanders was in some sort of press conference or interview or something, and they asked him about this certain player that transferred out. I guess it was a high-profile 5-star guy that transferred out, and he goes, "I don't even know who that guy is." Did you hear that?
I don't know.
No, I didn't hear that.
He said that he didn't even know who the guy was. His teammate. The guy was on the team with him last year. He said he didn't even know who he was. I said, God damn, bro. That's insane. Of course he knew who he was. He's just being a dick. They become the Sanders family, and I'm a Deion Sanders fan. I had a poster of Deion Sanders on my wall as a kid. I loved him in baseball and in and in football. But the Sanders family is becoming insufferable.
Yeah, sorry guys, it's all because Florida State wouldn't pick up Shedeur Sanders as a quarterback.
He said the dude was mid. Yeah, he said something like that. First of all, he goes, "Who?" Like he didn't know who he was, and he goes, "Oh, that guy. Yeah, he was mid." Yeah. So right, now you're just being a dick.
What a dick.
Is this about the Cormani McLean thing?
Yeah, I think that's who it was. Yeah, that's probably who it was. Because a bunch of people transferred out of there, but there was only a few high-profile guys that transferred out of there. I don't know who it was. Does somebody in the chat know who it was? Who he was talking about? I think it might have been him.
I think he's the only 5-star I know that's transferred out.
It was a wide receiver. Okay, I don't know who it was. I don't really follow the transfer portal that. Listen, I'm a Clemson fan. I don't follow the transfer portal very closely.
Don't follow Colorado.
We don't have a whole lot of transfer portal talk going on in Clemson, South Carolina. So.
Yeah, that's a foreign language for them.
Nature Boy says Xavier Smith. Huffer Billy Paul says, "Is this midday?" I don't know. Do you have a clock or a watch anywhere in that house of yours, Huffer Billy Paul? I don't know what you're asking. It's 7:52 p.m.
Is it because we've talked about every conference except the ACC?
Well, we talked about the ACC too. We talked about them all.
Oh, and baseball. I guess we did.
Yeah, I mean it's the ACC tournament started today. Of course, we talked about it.
Yeah, Florida State beat Georgia Tech.
Yeah, Georgia. Sea-Dog ain't got no interest in it.
No interest.
Definitely not.
I just found out today that the tournament even started.
I found out 30 minutes before the show started.
I found out when your show started.
So. North Carolina's winning the College World Series. Well, they are the number 1 seed. They did win the regular season. That doesn't mean they're winning the College World Series, though.
It sucks to see Florida State. They did have a good stretch to start out the season, and then it's just like, it's real bumpy.
Yeah, so the college football game is coming out soon. There's been a lot of discussion about that. There is at least one person I know of on the internet that's very upset that PigskinPeete didn't make a reaction video to to the trailer for the college football NCAA college football 25 game, which that's not happening. I am, however, considering streaming some gameplay. I'm actually going to order. Can you pre-order that game? I guess you can. I'm going to go ahead and pre-order the game, and when it comes out, I'm probably going to do some live streams for channel members. For anybody who's interested in that, you can join the channel. The join. I think the lowest tier on there is like $3 a month or something. So go ahead and join that. I'll do more promoting for that whenever we get closer. I think, when does the game come out, in July or August?
It's next month, so maybe June.
Are you gonna play the game, Sea-Dog? I know you're a gamer guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
Maybe
it doesn't suck, but it probably will. But I'll play it anyway.
Why? Hold on. Why do you think it's gonna suck?
Well, it's made by EA, and I mean, a lot of the shit they do is really greedy. And
You're talking to a video gamer here, Pete.
Yeah.
We don't like EA.
Yeah,
at all.
We don't like EA, bro.
EA ruins every
Everybody
video
knows
game
that.
franchise they've ever touched.
Yeah, they do.
Well, I'll go ahead and tell you.
Don't even get me started on what they did to Star Wars.
Don't say it.
Oh,
yeah,
my
I knew you were
God.
going there.
I'll go ahead and tell you. I know because I had a conversation on the midday show, a pretty extensive one with Rec Talk about this. He knows a lot more about it than I do and about gaming in general. So there's a lot of stuff that they're trying to sell you secondhand, right?
Microtransactions.
Whatever you call them, in-game purchases, microtransactions. I'm not doing any of that. Is that something? Should I even bother? If I'm not going to buy a bunch of stuff in the game,
you don't have to worry about it unless you're doing like the Ultimate Team mode on there, which nobody plays Ultimate Team really. It's franchise or nothing.
Except for 10-year-olds.
Except for 10-year-olds.
With
Okay.
their mom's credit card, and that's the reason that they make so much money off of it. You know?
yeah. But in order to stream the game and play the game, I don't need to buy anything extra, right? Because I'm not doing it.
No, you shouldn't.
All right. That's all I need to know.
Really, the two important game modes are Dynasty, and you got to do a Road to Glory series. Maybe it is the dog days. We ain't got nothing else to do. We need to do a Road to Glory.
Luke, who decided to join the ACC show.
What's going on, buddy? The ACC show, man. Go Clemson, man. Go Clemson.
It's Octavian, everybody.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
You came in about 5 minutes too late. We were just discussing this this lawsuit against Billy Napier, a booster in the University of Florida. What do you think? Do you know about what we're talking about?
Yeah, I know who you talking about, man. Man, it's I don't know, man. He wants to be a Gator so bad, man. He's trying to get out of Athens.
He's trying to get out of Athens by suing Florida?
He's doing something. Kirby Smart gave him his blessing to sue Florida. I think the Georgia people are just trying to end the Florida Gators. I think the Georgia Bulldogs offense is literally scared of Florida because if we get back on top, they know it's gonna be hell to pay.
The funny thing is, Georgia don't even have to ruin Florida. They're basically doing it themselves.
Hold on. I need to understand where he's coming from. So he thinks that Kirby Smart gave the blessing to Rashad to sue Billy Napier in Florida because they're scared of Florida?
Yes, they is.
Makes
Yes,
sense to
sir.
me.
They're scared of Florida. That's right.
They're terrified. They're shuddering.
Oh, man.
Makes sense
Now
to
that's
me.
something there.
I really believe it.
So Georgia is so scared of Napier that they're trying to get him fired?
They're trying to get him fired. That's right.
Damn.
They know what'll happen if they.
What
leave him to
exactly
his
are they
devices.
scared of Billy Napier for? Is it another no bowl season?
Yeah.
Or-
Now we're gonna make the 12-team national championship, man.
12-team national There's a 12-team national championship?
We're gonna make the 12-team playoff, and then we're gonna win the championship. We're gonna win it all. We're gonna be this first 16-0 undisputed national champions.
True.
It's only have you been drinking?
No, I haven't been drinking.
Oh,
so-
okay. All right. I'm just making sure.
Any
So you're
other
totally sober?
substances that we need to know?
I am sober. Well, talk about this is an all ACC show. Where's the Miami Sugarcane fans at? Where's the Sugarcane fans?
Sugarcane fans. I don't know.
They must be hibernating. And
Oh,
then we got
they're believe me, they're around.
Then we got the FSU people, man, with the one side of the stadium, man. I never seen a horrible stadium. That's a pitiful stadium.
It's a
That's
beautiful, beautiful stadium.
Just pitiful. Absolute
Getting even
pit-
better.
It's just getting pitiful.
It's sad to watch. It's sad to watch how Jacksonville is choosing whether to play in Florida or UCF Stadium. That's sad that that's a comparison.
Now,
Well-
Octavian, you live in Tallahassee, don't you?
Yes, I do.
How far do you live from Doak Campbell Stadium?
Literally a mile.
A mile?
Literally walk to the stadium.
How often do you go over there?
Oh, I see it every day.
So bad in Gainesville, you had to move to Tallahassee.
Wow.
I don't believe I've ever asked you this, Octavian, but why do you live in Tallahassee?
Because I was born here, and I've never been a Seminole fan. I've been hating them all my life. I've been a Gator since day one.
You know, that's funny. I was born in Gainesville, and I've never been a Gator fan my whole life.
Never.
That's
never
interesting.
Been a Seminole fan.
So you're from Tallahassee, but you hate Florida State.
Yes.
You're just a rebel, aren't you, Octavian?
Yeah.
You know what? You and Carolina Jackpot are similar in that way. I believe Carolina Jackpot is from the upstate of South Carolina, but he hates Clemson.
I'm actually similar too. I'm an idiot redneck born in Georgia. I'm not a Georgia fan.
Yeah, but don't you live close to Atlanta?
I guess.
I mean, where do you live closer to?
In Atlanta,
like-
must be
I'm like, it takes me 40 minutes to get to Atlanta in the morning for my commute. I guess I'm close enough to commute there. But
Octavian, Uncle Lou wants to ask you a question. He wants to know, should Florida State have a black guy on the horse instead of a white guy?
Maybe they should. Maybe I think, this is what I know. This is what I know from what I know. I think FSU has a woman on the horse this year. I think that this is the first a woman on the horse this year. Don't take me. I think it is. They will have a woman on the horse this year.
Now, is it a woman or is it a man who identifies as a woman?
The second one.
Damn.
The second one.
You know, that might be the first thing you said I actually believe. I believe that they would do that.
Florida State, man, worst school in America, horrible football program, the worst fans in the world. They cry about everything. Clemson's going to beat them by 30 points, and Doak Campbell with one half of the stadium being Clemson fans.
That is true.
I just can't fucking. I just can't.
You think Georgia Tech will beat them week 0 in Ireland?
I really believe so too. Who is that quarterback? Is Hayes King y'all still y'all
baby.
Yes, it's Hayes King y'all quarterback. I'm going for Georgia Tech.
Move the chains, Haynes.
Oh, because Georgia Tech's going to beat FSU in Ireland?
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you what. We looked at the line last night. The line is like 13 points. I probably would take Georgia Tech with the points. I'm not going to pick them to win or like money line bet, but I'll take Georgia Tech at 2 touchdowns.
I think you guys are going to be a little surprised.
Surprised how?
I think Florida State covers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I don't believe Georgia Tech's defense has improved that much since last year.
You might be onto something there.
Yeah, exactly. Florida State's defense, on the other hand, looks pretty stout this year.
Well, our offense is gonna be nasty too. So,
but the problem with Florida State,
you see our front seven.
Your front seven is going to be good. I'll go ahead and concede to that. But I know from experience, you got a quarterback problem, buddy.
And we're gonna have.
You never know. I mean, he went out to Oregon State and did better at
conference.
I just think he needed a real coach this time. So.
Oh no, man.
PigskinPeete, I just got a question, man.
Yeah.
How do you feel about DJ Ukulele, man? How do you honestly feel about him?
Well, I've been very open about my opinion about him. I think I really like him. I think he's a good guy. I don't think he's a very good quarterback, though.
Yeah, that's the same thing I said.
But that's the thing. Florida State's in a position right now. We don't need him to be the best quarterback in the world. We just need him to be okay. If that, and Florida State can still win games.
I mean, technically he was okay at Clemson, but how'd that work out?
Yeah.
Y'all still won 10 games, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm not saying Florida State's going to go deep in the playoffs, but I'm hoping we at least make it into it.
FSU
Unlike Florida, who does not have a chance at all.
Oh, here we go. FSU is like the mountain climb. Have you ever watched The Price is Right? It's the mountain climb. This is basically this the mountain climber season right here. Like for every loss they have, they're just gonna fall off the rails. They're just gonna fall off the cliff of the mountain. And I can't wait till we knock them off.
How many losses do we have?
I could at least say 6 losses.
God damn.
Ooh. So
that's casket
how
there.
Many wins y'all got?
Casket!
We have 8 wins. I can see FSU losing 6 games and making a Liberty Bowl.
Yeah, I'm not.
Memphis in the Memphis Bowl. And
At least we'll be making a bowl.
I'm not going as far as to say.
You'll get a rematch with Georgia in the Liberty Bowl, and you'll beat them.
I think 6 wins is ridiculous, but I could see an 8 or 9 win season for Florida State.
I think 10-2.
I think it's telling that the narrative is like, well, DJ doesn't have to be that good. Like, it tells me that you don't have a lot of faith in the kid.
I don't have a lot of faith in DJ. And what faith has he given anybody? But I don't think that he's going to be absolutely horrible like everybody says he's
So
gonna be.
let me ask you a question. Who on that offense on the wide receiver core do you have that's anywhere even close to Keon Coleman?
Nobody.
My only hope is Hakeem Williams. That's my only hope. And I mean, he does have great ceiling. I mean, He
My
did
kid,
great
yeah.
coming in as a freshman. I don't think he fall off, but I just don't.
Florida
I
State's
don't
gonna
see-
be Florida State gonna be a triple option team this year, man. They're gonna run into the option all the
hell.
time.
I don't think we're gonna pull a Clemson and try to make DJ run.
You don't think they're going to make DJ run? So
I don't
Clemson.
think so. With all the horses we got in the backfield, I think it's a run game first for Florida State, and I just
Yeah, and he'll be a part of that. So he ran an average of 12 times a game at Clemson. He ran an average of 15 times a game at Oregon State, but he's not going to run at Florida State.
I don't think he's not going to run, period. But I don't think they're going to be using him in a triple option system like Octavian just said.
Well,
No.
I mean, that's clearly silly, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, obviously.
you
but I
gotta
don't
use
think
him
they're
to
gonna
his
be
strength
running
with
him like
his
a
running.
horse. I don't think so.
DJ's not a like sit in the pocket pass quarterback. That's not who he is.
No, it's not who he
man,
is.
He should change his play a little bit because he runs way too slow.
No, we know who DJ is. He's a mediocre quarterback. He's a mediocre at Clemson. He was mediocre at Oregon State. He's going to be mediocre at Florida State. That's just who he. I mean, this isn't a first or second year quarterback. The guy, he's going into his 5th year.
Hey man, y'all FSU fans is gonna go. Y'all in for a rude awakening this year, man.
Yeah, 6 losses. You're right.
6 losses, 6 upset losses. Y'all might lose to Duke. I know y'all lose to Georgia Tech. If y'all play NC State, that's a for sure loss.
Yeah, whoever you're playing, you're losing, buddy.
God knows what.
Yeah. Whoever we go up on the field, we're just gonna
At
lose.
least they might win. They might win against Miami.
Sorry,
I
coach.
really-
They had us in the first half.
I really don't see Florida State. They making it Liberty 7-6 Liberty Bowl.
How about you guys just focus on Miami before Miami beats y'all shit in?
Oh man, Miami is soft.
It's gonna be
is the
sad that
soft.
Georgia Tech and Florida State can have their way with Miami, but Florida's gonna lose. That's crazy.
We're gonna, Miami is so soft to me, man. That we're not worried about Miami. We worry about Texas, and we worry about week 2 now. We're not worried about Miami. Miami is like a exhibition game to us, man.
You might ought to be worried about Miami.
Well, we're not worried about Cam Ward. We're not worried about Mario Cristobal. We're not worried about the Hurricanes. They can bring all the fans they want to the swamp. By the time the second quarter in, they'll be going out the stadium. It'll be 35-0.
So Octavian,
They're not going to bring a lot of fans to the swamp.
so
Yeah,
so
we
at,
can promise that they're not gonna bring any fans.
after Florida goes 5-7, who's going to be the next head coach at Florida when Billy Napier gets fired?
Lane Kiffin or Ted Fish?
Lane Kiffin.
The Lane train's coming to Gainesville.
What the fuck? I know you don't believe that, do you?
I really do. I think if we throw anybody money to Lane Kiffin, he will be the first thing he'll be the first thing in Gainesville, Florida.
So
Emma tried to get him and he turned it down.
but you notice how he answered that question. I said after you go 5-7 and Billy Napier gets fired, who's going to be the head coach? He didn't even hesitate. So you do think that Florida's going 5-7?
He's like, yeah.
No, I'm not saying it, but if he gets fired, we already have the motions in place to get Lane Kiffin.
Well, if you win 8 games, you're not firing Billy Napier, right?
Yeah, if we win 8 games, we're not gonna fire him.
Let me ask you this: do you want him fired?
This is my last year. This is my last year with him. My patience is running very little.
I think this is everyone's last year with him.
Yeah. So the answer is yeah. You're ready. You're ready to move on.
If he lose 5 games, if he lose more than 5 games, I'm ready to move on.
Okay.
So he's ready to move on.
So he's ready to move on then.
Well, I'm assuming you've already talked about the big news with Florida. I mean, I just stopped in, but I didn't.
Yeah, we've talked about the lawsuit and all that. Now, I really, until I looked it up, I saw the headlines. I didn't really understand what it was all about until I read about it. But to me, it just sounds like I find it hard to believe that this Georgia quarterback Rashad, whatever his name is going to win this lawsuit. But I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, that'll be Florida. We'll be one game ahead of Georgia. We'll be 1-0 against Georgia then. We win the lawsuit and we beat them on the field. That'll be 2 losses. There'll be 2 losses for Georgia coming this year.
So true.
And to make it even sweeter, we hurt ETN on the first play of the game.
Oh, you're going to hurt people. Dang.
The Dirty
ETN,
Gators.
I love you, ETN. But the decisions that you have made have dire
Was the best
consequences.
decision of his life. Was
He made his bed. You're right, man. I can get behind it.
He was going to be the SEC Player of the Year by playing with us. What are you?
So by going to a better team, he made a bad decision.
When we beat Georgia this year, for the first time in 5 years, we're gonna sit on top of the SEC.
And the next year, we're going to be talking about when y'all beat them next year for the first time in 6 years.
So, Reg, what do you know about the lawsuit?
I don't know a lot, and you should probably talk to the Florida State guy about lawsuits because they know a lot about it. But
Funny.
look, evidently he's claiming fraud because they let him on. They said that they were going to pay him $13 million, and didn't. It's what, 2 years after the fact. There's no precedent for how this NIL stuff is supposed to work anyways. And if nothing's in writing, you're going to have to demonstrate this understanding in court. I think that's going to be tough.
So here is the charges, or what he's suing them for. Okay, now this is a bunch of legal jargon, but it all sounds pretty. It sounds worse than it is, I think. A fraudulent misrepresentation and inducement, aiding and embedding fraud, civil conspiracy to commit fraud, negligent misrepresentations, fortuitous interference with business relationship or contract, aiding and embedding fortuitous interference with vicarious liability. Now, I don't know what the fuck any of that means, but it sounds terrible.
Lou says it is in writing. Where is that? That could be the case. Like I said, I don't know a ton about it.
I heard
He
it was
was-
verbal.
He wanted to be a Gator so bad he had to sue us. Well, poor him.
How can it be in? How can it be?
NIL is in writing, right? That's just like an understanding you have.
Yeah, I don't think you can. Again, I don't know what I'm talking about, but you can't make a contract for NIL like that, can you? I mean, that's not even. As far as the NCAA rules go, that's not kosher, is it?
Well, that would be the first step I would like to see, is maybe we could just get some rules that we can all agree on.
Well, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, good luck.
Because it's just all in the ether, and it's like Assassin's Creed. Everything is permitted.
No, I'll be interested to see how it plays out, because it's going to set a precedent for other players that may want to do the same thing.
Yeah. I have a question. I have an honest question for these Georgia fans, man. What is the big deal about it? What is we told him no. We didn't give him the damn money. He's salty that he didn't become a Gator. Now he's on our most hated rival, and now they trying to destroy our football program. Give us a break, man.
Well, but Georgia's not suing Florida. The player is.
Yeah, he's trying to destroy our football program because we didn't want to make him a Gator and pay him $13
No,
million.
but you just made the claim that Georgia is scared of Florida. That's why they're doing this. But they're not doing it. He is.
You guys wanted him to be a Gator real
Well,
bad.
you don't know
Y'all
that, Pete.
$13-something million.
Octavian, do you think maybe Kirby Smart got in his ear? And
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
One report said that he gave Jordan Rashada his blessing. So it's obviously Kirby Smart is the mastermind behind
But why would Kirby Smart be butthurt? He got the player. Why would he care?
He's trying to destroy our football program. I'll be butthurt too if I went 0-4 against Florida.
He doesn't need to destroy the program. Billy Napier's already doing it.
Yes, I was about to say.
But this is their year, Pete, and he wants to keep them down when they're on the ascent this year. That's what I think's going on.
Oh.
Octavian, do you think the Earth is round or flat? All right.
Clemson, man, listen, I'm gonna tell you my preseason is gonna be Clemson. It's gonna be Duke, NC State, Florida State, and my surprise team that made the ACC championship was gonna be Syracuse, man. Keep it in mind, Syracuse.
Duke and Syracuse. What are you smoking,
You
dude?
just did me dirty and Sea-Dog. Dang.
Why'd you say Duke? Well, you let off with
Got
Duke.
excited when you said surprise.
I mean, because he knows
I know.
Georgia Tech's let's be honest. He knows Georgia Tech's going to be written off after week
I'm hung up on the Duke thing. Why do you think Duke's going to be good?
I honestly think Duke. I think Manny Diaz got something going on at Duke. It's going to be something special. He's going to beat Miami this year. He's going to beat Florida State, and I think he's going to make the SEC championship.
It's very fitting that you think that the former Miami coach have something special going on at Duke.
I really do.
On his first year at Duke, too.
He really does, I guess. That's what he said. Yeah.
Pittsburgh might be in it too. You know.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Damn, everybody but us.
And then I like Georgia Tech. They might finish third. I like.
It don't sound like it. You think Syracuse and Duke are better than us?
But you know, Georgia Tech been down for some years, man. Like they just coming back. They're just coming back to be good now.
True.
See, dog, after we don't love our team, man.
Yeah, Duke was 3 touchdowns better than Clemson last year, but they don't have their coach anymore.
When it comes down to playing Florida State, I'll take it. I'm a rambling Georgia Tech fan all day.
Oh yeah.
You can
How do you think we're going to beat Florida State, but Duke is going to make it is going to be better than us
And Syracuse.
and Syracuse? Yeah, I mean, if we beat Florida State week 1, like that, that'd
Florida
be a huge
State's not
deal.
going to be any good. Clearly.
But Georgia Tech always have that loss in the season that make you scratch your head and be like, well, how the fuck did they lose?
Yeah, moving on.
Yeah, Bowling Green.
I don't like this.
Yeah, what about Bowling Green, man?
You know what the hell with you, man? We are gonna whoop your ass week 0 just for that. I'm gonna tell Brent Key you said that.
Go ahead and tell Brent Key I said that. I'm gonna let Mike Norvell know to go ahead and hang 21 on y'all. So
I told you, I'm taking Tech with the points. I'm not bold enough to bet them on the money line. But they
have to take them.
Did you just say hang
more money
21
for me
on us?
when we
If you
beat
hang-
them the cover, so I'm okay.
Georgia Tech might end up winning that game. And let me tell you this: if Georgia Tech does win that game, 7-5 on deck for the Noles.
I told you 7. I said 7-5. No, 7-6. Liberty Bowl. They playing Memphis. They might well get comfortable because they're going right there to Memphis, Tennessee. Get comfortable.
We play Memphis this year, anyways. We're gonna already beat them.
Yeah, y'all can play them in the bowl game too. Y'all can have a rematch.
I don't know about the bowl game.
They might well reclaim it. They might Norvell Bowl right there in Memphis,
we'll be in
Tennessee.
the playoffs, so
Mike Norvell Bowl.
The Mike Norvell Liberty Bowl.
Wow.
Give all the free auto zones, get all the everything. Dukes Mayo, auto zone.
What? The free auto zones? What are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm done.
And the Liberty Bowl thing is the auto zone Liberty Bowl.
Oh.
See, dog, are you surprised at how many people are high on Tech week 0 against Florida State? There's a lot of people.
It's no surprise. It's all coming from the hate that we're getting from last year in the playoffs. It's blah blah blah. Everybody wants to see Florida State lose.
No, I don't think that's it. I think it's the fact that you don't have your all-star quarterback or your all-star receiver that you had last year. And let's be real. Listen, you had a great season last year, but you won a lot of those games by the skin of your teeth.
Everybody knows FSU's soft. That's why they picked against them. They soft as a bunch of marshmallows. They get pushed. They gonna get pushed up and down the field this week 1, but it's Georgia Tech. They some marshmallows on it. They're just big soft marshmallows. You hit them in the mouth one time, they just fall like some bitches.
Well said. I couldn't have said it better myself.
I mean, we didn't need a quarterback to beat Florida, so it don't matter.
Well, that is true. He does have a point, Octavian.
They're just a bunch of marshmallows.
I didn't hear you, Rick.
I said, I think you do need one to make the playoffs. We established that last year.
That is true. I mean, we're going to make the playoffs this year, so I'm not worried.
Oh, my goodness.
Octavian, do you think Florida has a chance to make the playoffs this year?
Absolutely.
I think their over-under win total in Vegas is like 4.5 or something.
Hey, man, when we surprised the nation going 11-2 and winning the SEC.
What the fuck? God,
Casket!
11-2 and win the SEC.
What are your 2 losses?
Texas, and I want to say Texas. I don't want to say who else. Let's see who
You
else
don't
we
want
got
to
on
say
our
who
schedule.
else. Miami.
I don't know, not Miami.
Florida State.
Can't- I'll say I could see us losing to Missouri or somebody like that.
But
in the
not,
championship
but
game.
not Miami or Florida State.
We killed those two.
Okay.
We killed those two. We killed those two marshmallows.
And you're going to beat Georgia too.
Miami, UCF, and Florida State.
So you're not going to lose to Florida State, Miami, or Georgia.
Oh, we're not worried about Georgia either. Man. Georgia's like a moon pie. They just only good for so often. It's a stale moon pie. It's a stale moon pie. That's what they are. Stale moon pies.
So the number one ranked team in the country is a moon pie.
Yeah, that's stale moon pies. That's soft. That's
I
the soft
like
floats.
this. Hell yeah.
And then we have Tennessee with the toothpick of a quarterback. We can't talk about those. We're gonna run them off the field.
Now I'm starting to question. You think Clemson's going to beat Georgia too, don't you?
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, he thinks Georgia Tech is going to beat Florida State.
Yeah.
Clemson is going to win by 3 points on the last second kick. I want you to mark this on air. When it happens live, just be like Octavian said. Clemson's going to win by 3 points. It's going to be 17-14. Clemson kicks the upset kick, wins the game. The Georgia Dome goes crazy.
Well, there is no Georgia Dome, but
Yeah, they knocked the Georgia Dome down.
Well, the Mercedes-Benz Dome would go crazy. Clemson fans would go crazy. And Kirby Smart, he's going to hang his head.
He'll just be looking at his shoelaces, wondering how he got there.
Yeah, they'd be like,
Prize is going to fall off.
Yes, I just can't wait till week 1 so I can actually see Kirby Smart cry.
I do agree with him. Clemson is gonna beat Georgia on a last second field goal. He's right about that. I can see the future.
And Octavian, no. Do you think Georgia Tech will beat Georgia the last week of the season?
No. Where y'all play at this year? Athens or Atlanta?
It's in Athens.
Does
but
it
that's the
matter?
only place we can beat them at. It does matter. We hadn't beat them. We hadn't beat them in Atlanta since '99, I think.
Ooh.
Oh god damn! There's some people in this chat right now that weren't even born then.
Gosh almighty.
So yeah, we got them right where we want them in Athens.
You really didn't have to bring that up.
Man, even though as much as I hate Georgia, I got to see that one. I got to see how Georgia Tech plays through the season. Gotta see that one. That ain't gonna lie to you. If y'all win, please tear down Georgia's goalpost, please. I'd love to see that. Bring a piece.
Sea-Dog will get one end zone, and I'll get the other one.
We'll tear up the weeds they got growing around.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you gonna cut up their weeds and take it home and frame it?
Yeah.
They hate that. They get all bent out of shape.
Yeah.
About it.
They'll cut their hedges and to bring me a piece of their hedge. That'd
I
be
will.
great.
Right after the win, I'll get some and be like, I'm going to Octavian's. We earned this.
Now, Octavian, Slim Shady Canes, the Miami fan, he told me he was going to a game with you this year. Is that true?
Well, we going to the. I think we going to the Tennessee game, Tennessee and Florida game, or I think he might be going to the Miami and Florida game. I'm not for sure.
Yeah.
That'd be good. We have some live video content of a Hurricane fan losing his mind during a Florida Gator game.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
You could troll Slim. It's not hard to do, but
Yeah, it's
No.
not hard.
do you live in Florida, Octavian?
I live in Tallahassee. I live at Florida State.
He lives a mile away from Doak Campbell Stadium.
Capital of the state.
Dang. Did you say you live with a Florida State fan?
He lives in Tallahassee.
Well, he's from Tallahassee.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. I haven't heard all the lore of Octavian, so I apologize.
He is sort of a mythical character.
Yeah. Like he needs his own wiki. We need to do that for all of us. You can have your own wiki with your lore.
You know what, Octavian, do you make YouTube videos?
I do.
Oh, how come I haven't seen them?
I made a couple of them, especially when Georgia lost to Alabama.
Oh, so you made a couple of them, but you don't make them regularly.
Oh, no, not regularly.
Why not? You should. I'd watch them.
When we beat Georgia,
Definitely be entertaining.
when we beat Georgia this year, they'll be I will set the YouTube record this year.
You're going to set the YouTube record?
For views?
For views. It's gonna be Florida man jumps in the pond after Gators beat Georgia on the last second field goal.
You're going to jump in a pond? You're going to jump in a pond full of gators?
A pond full of gators.
Might be your last video.
He's right. He might set the YouTube record if he does that.
Florida man dies a happy man eaten by his own mascot.
Wow.
These FSU fans, man, they're really disturbed. They're really disturbed.
Disturbed.
Perturbed?
Disturbed. We're really disturbed.
Yeah.
They're really disturbed.
That's when you're really effed up.
He just made his own. He just made up his own word. Well, unfortunately, as much fun as I'm having, I do have to get off of here. I was going to get off at 8:00. I've got money on a game here. I got to go watch myself lose it. So
I gotta go eat dinner.
all
All right, y'all. Well, go Gators, man, and go Clemson for the ACC championship. Clemson all the way.
all the way. You're right. Clemson all the way, baby.
Everyone's making the ACC title this year.
I like to Haven as a trip, man.
All right, well, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, see you later, Rick. All right, thanks, True Seminole, for coming on, buddy. Appreciate
Take
it.
it easy, Tater man.
All right. All right, Sea-Dog, we did it. We barely did it, but we did it. Any last words you have before we get off of here?
See ya.
All right. Sea-Dog out, he says. Oh, man. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for your boy, too. Thanks for tuning into the ACC show this week. Now, I'll be out of town next week. No, wait. Is that next week? When are we going out of town again, Mrs. P? I'll be here next week. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's the week after that I'll be gone. So I'll see you again at the same time, same place, same bat channel for another edition of the ACC show next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Everybody have a great Tuesday, and I'll see you tomorrow morning on my second channel at 11 a.m. for the almighty midday show. Have a good night.